control. It's a really interesting topic. We have a lot to cover today. But before we start, you can introduce yourself in the comments section. Tell us what you do and where you are from, as always, and let others know about you. We will start in a couple of minutes until everyone else joins because we expect more people this evening. All right. So, the last workshop, we talked about the power of leverage. We had an engaging conversation. And if you did not watch it, you can go back to my LinkedIn profile or YouTube channel so you can see the recording. Okay, so I can see more people joining right now. Right, if you have just joined me, introduce yourself in the comments section. Tell us what you do and where you are from so everyone else can know about you as well. And if you have any questions about this workshop or project control in general, you can write your question in the comments section. And at the end of the workshop, I'm going to go over all questions and answer them one by one. Hi, Jamal, joined us from the UK. All right. So here is what we will, here is, if you joined me right now, maybe you did not receive the notification, but today we will talk about the power of systems and automation. Why do we need to create systems and how we can complete our work on autopilot? It's relevant to what we talked about in the previous workshop about leverage. So both topics complement each other, but they are not the same. um, okay, hi Federico. Good morning. Hi Abdullah from the UAE. Right. So if you have just joined, introduce yourself in the comments section and tell us what you do and where you are from. We will start in 1 minute so we can have more people so they will not get lost during the workshop. We want to make sure that more people will start from the beginning. Arsen from Armenia. Hello, Parvez from India. Muhammad from Pakistan. Hi, Abdul Minan from Libya. Hi, Bakari from Gambia. It's good to have you all today. Okay, so I can see more people joining us right now, and we have Muhammad from Libya as well. Hi, Francois from Cameroon, and Muhammad from India. We have Ajay also from India. It's good to have you. All right, so let's start. Hi, Khalid. All right, so let's start right now. We will talk about the power of systems and automation and why do you need one in your work. And before I start, if you have any questions at any time, you can write them in the comments section. And at the end of the workshop, I'm gonna go over all questions and answer them one by one. Hi, Rava from Qatar. Good to have you. We have Khalid from Dubai as well joined us. Hi, good day, Yasser. Hi, Arshad. It's good to have you back with us from Germany. All right, so I can see more questions right now, but I'm gonna answer all of them at the end of the workshop. But feel free to write your questions right now, and I'm gonna go over all of them later, okay, after I deliver the workshop. Okay, and some of you know me, but some of you attend our workshop for the first time. So I'm gonna give a little bit about myself before I move on. I am a practitioner in project control since 2010, skilled in planning, Power BI, delay analysis, and claims, bachelor in civil engineering. I studied my MBA in the UK. I did all my research around construction. I worked in super large construction projects, member of PMI and the ASCI. I served as the director of marketing at ASCI, the UAE chapter. It's a volunteer role. I am based in the UAE and I offer project control services for companies, delay analysis and claims consultations, and project control training. I'm PMP, PSP, and PMISP certified. What will you learn today? The concept of leverage. So this is basically what we will cover. It's about systems and automations, and we will touch on leverage as well. And before we start, I want to talk about the data model. What is a data model? And I'm going to explain the concept in real life before I explain it in project control, because only then it will make a lot of sense. A data model, it's about raw data tables that define certain characteristics. And I'm going to give some examples because data models are everywhere around us. And when we observe them, only then we can change our mindset and we can implement them in project control effectively. You need to identify relationships among all these tables with one or more connection points. Let me explain. First, I have two examples. The first example is about loyalty programs for big brands. Maybe you go, you buy your products from a certain hypermarket. You have airline as well. So they have like loyalty program. They want you to sign up and they wanna relate and store your purchases in your account, right? So if you can relate, if you have maybe a loyalty program or loyalty card with a hypermarket, you signed up, they collected your details like name, age, date of birth, gender, etc. And before you check out, they want to ask you, they will correlate your purchases with your account. Why? And they give you points in return, but the purpose is to establish a data model. People have different needs, right? A woman in her 20s will buy different products than a man in his 50s with three kids, right? So they want to really know as much as they can about the customer. So after you sign up, your demographics is one data table. Okay, your age, gender, nationality, whatever it might be, it's one data table. Your purchase, when you buy maybe 10, 20 products, so that's one data table as well. And at the end, they want to draw conclusions about the best selling products for women in their 30s, for example. And airline as well, they want to see that demographics first and they want to relate that to your purchase history. Facebook is another example. Sometimes you are on your news feeds and you see one ad. about a school for your children, and you wonder, that's exactly what I need. How did they know that? Well, they collected data from you as well. They know your demographics, and they know that your friend who graduated from the same university has three kids, and he expressed the interest in, the schooling, for example. So that's how they can connect data tables. So we can, you can apply the same concept and the mindset everywhere, right? Different data tables, and as I mentioned in the first point, raw data tables that define certain characteristics. A single data table means nothing. Your demographics mean nothing until you correspond to that or connect that with something uh, that will have more meaning, let's just say. So how is it related to project control in a practical way? We can see, look at the baseline. It's one data table. It has certain characteristics. I can see the list of activities, planned dates, budgeted total cost, and activity codes assignments. It will serve its purpose the same way the demographics will serve the purpose. It shows you only the plan. We also have the list of activity codes in our project. We have the resources assignments, resource ID, resource name, resource type, budgeted units, and the corresponding assignments on each activity. So that's one data table as well. Schedule update. We want to see on every data date how much work I have accomplished, actual dates, total float, earned value, SPI, all of that. It's related to a schedule update. So each point will serve its purpose, right? They are raw data tables. What we are trying to do, the same way the hypermarket did, is we want to establish a model. And when you connect the data tables, it becomes a model. So there are many ways, to establish this connection. For example, in the hypermarket example, they have, you know, like your account is identified by the email, right? So they want to see, like it's equivalent to the activity ID in project control. So I want to relate to or connect the baseline data with the schedule update through the activity ID. I can also establish a connection between list of activity codes with baseline. So when I filter, for example, uh, how much how much I should have earned in concrete, up to date. So that's how you establish a connection. So you really wanna find identifiers and establish a connection based on that. Only then you have a data model in place. Project control systems should operate in a way that is similar to underground. Above ground, we have traffic lights, we have a lot of noise, and you will probably reach your destination, but you have to navigate your way to go there. It is not really an easy task or a straightforward task most of the time, right? There are some challenges. Sometimes you have to stop, slow down, go at speed. That's friction. Okay? That's why the transportation system above ground is not effective. What we want to do in any system, not only for project control, but we want to eliminate friction as much as possible. The same way like underground, it has the same speed. Um, you can exactly determine when you will reach your destination, in many cases to the second, and you don't have to deal with any of the distractions, obstructions, the challenges, and friction. A project control system should be like that. And I'm going to show you in a minute how it looks like. And let's just go for a minute to explain what I mean here. The traditional way will have a lot of friction. If I ask you to generate, like that's the dashboard, for example, and if I ask you to generate a dashboard for concrete only, you're gonna be maybe do some work, right? You're gonna have apply filters, and you wanna go back to the baseline to extract the planned values of concrete, and you're gonna maybe copy the data into Excel, apply some formulas, maybe have some conditional formatting. That's a lot of friction. Everything I talked about is friction, you know. But in Power BI, you can have an underground, you can eliminate friction. With one click, so when I talk about effective system, it means it's predictable. That's the first benefit. It's predictable. The same way the underground works, it's predictable. You can, the speed is given, when you are reaching your destination. So I want to have as much predictability as possible. If you do it the traditional way, it's predictable, but you do not have a high degree of predictability, because when I tell you how much will it take you to do this task, you're gonna maybe have to guess it, like maybe a couple of hours, maybe it will take you more or less. You will never know. Maybe it's gonna be challenging in the process. When you have a more complex task, it's gonna take maybe days to do so. It is not 100% predictable. With Power BI, I can just click one button. I can just click on create. It's predictable. I know the output. I know what I'm getting, and to a certain extent, it's accurate. And I'm not talking about garbage in, garbage out type of accuracy, because if you feed the model with inaccurate data, you're gonna get inaccurate results. But I'm gonna assume the input is correct. You will not have formulas errors. You will not miss a zero. You will not have mistyping, because it's a system, right? And so that's the whole thing about friction and efficiency, right? And if I click on column C reinforcement, I'm gonna get the dashboard of column C reinforcements. Predictable, no friction, okay, no challenges or obstructions. Because in project control, what the majority of planning engineers, they have obstructions and the challenges. But what are they in real life? It's gonna be maybe your energy levels, because you get tired throughout the day. So maybe at the end of the day, you are slowing down. Sometimes you lose your focus. Sometimes you are distracted by emails and meetings. Sometimes your PC, has Windows problems or whatever it might be. So they are all obstructions and challenges. Sometimes you have to slow down. Sometimes you have to navigate your way to do what you want, but you want to eliminate friction. The another value of having a system and automation is you want to replace tens of slides with one interactive model. I'm going to show you one example. So that's one slide. It's amazing. It shows me what I want. It has the variance analysis and the financial progress, for example. Okay. And this is the variance breakdown for the work accomplished this week. Okay, so I get it. I did the calculation, and I have one presentation for that. I'm gonna have another presentation for the last week. Okay, so that's a separate slide. And another slide for progress curve. Maybe one more slide for progress curve of concrete. You got the idea, right? Like I'm showing many static presentation slides. And there is a problem with that, major problem. Many people don't see that challenge They are just conditioned to operate in a certain way. But there's a problem. You have a project worth millions of dollars. You have concrete, you have construction activities, testing and commissioning, engineering, procurement, and even you want to monitor the progress on an activity level. You can't cover everything in a static way. You can't take snapshots and populate them inside PowerPoint. It's not effective. So that's one challenge. The second challenge is I don't know the problem until I see triggers. Okay, so let's say, for example, we have a 20% delay in a project. You know that it's related to maybe concrete when you looked hard enough. But when you really dig deeper, you will find that there is a slow rate of progress in column steel reinforcement. Okay, but I would not be able to know about that until I see triggers, list of triggers. First, the trigger that the project is in delay. Because if the project is ahead, I will not probably work hard enough to dig deeper and examine the issue. I hope it makes sense. But there is a delay, so I'm gonna investigate the delay further. That's the first trigger. I have a variance breakdown. I know that the problem is from concrete, is caused by concrete. So I'm gonna look further. So that's the thing. You wanna have because you cannot depend on static presentations, because static presentation will not offer me that. So for example, I have here structure works in delay. All right. So I want to see where the delay comes from and how the delay behaved over time. I want to see that trend. Is it getting worse? Because sometimes yes, there is a delay, but I am getting better over time. That I am recovering the delay. I applied recovery measures and I am mitigating the delay. So yes, there is a delay, but don't worry. Maybe in 3 weeks, if we continue with this trend, we're gonna be all right. That's the kind of mindset we need to have. So I wanna. So you need. That's why you need dynamic, presentations, not slides. You cannot have. Even if you have 100 slides, is not even effective. So the power of systems and automations is the solution is to build a machine and develop a set and forget system. Right. So let me show you what I mean for a second. Right. Right. So I know the project is in delay, for example. Okay, fine. In a second, I can look at the variance analysis. Okay, so I can see that more delays in column S reinforcement. I'm gonna click on that. I'm gonna see the SPI, and I'm gonna go right away to activity progress trend. I'm gonna establish a filter in like 3 seconds. Ground floor, concrete, column S reinforcement. I know the trend. I know what I'm getting. I know everything. Right? That's why it's dynamic. I cannot have a presentation, a separate slide for column steel reinforcement and another one for the 10 other concrete activities in the 20 floors that I have. It just doesn't make any sense. You don't know what you are looking for yet. You have triggers, and it depends on your ability to deal with these triggers, as effectively as possible. So I hope you get the point. Okay, so I know that trend. I know that I'm slowing down in that activity. So what if the reason was block work for floor 5? Okay, I'm gonna just take 3 seconds to get what I want. And I'm gonna go over right away to cost variance breakdown. I wanna see the top contributing factors for cost variance right away. And if I need any information, I'm gonna hover over this activity and see additional information that will help me in my analysis. I'm gonna even click on it. I'm gonna see the SPI and the variance. That's the kind of dynamics that you wanna have. You wanna be fluid. You wanna be flexible. You wanna have less friction. It's all the same thing. Like friction is not a separate topic than what I'm talking about. It's all related, and you wanna establish set and forget system. That's the second point. Here is what I mean. After I complete the schedule update inside Primavera, it takes less than 30 seconds to populate everything and have everything updated inside Power BI. All I need to do is to click refresh and everything will be updated because I created set and forget system. It's a set only once. It's like building a machine, right? I always think of it this way. I build my systems in a way that will allow me to have a switch on and off. Okay. When I wanted to calculate planned versus actual, it has a formula, right? What about variance percentage? It also has a formula. SPI, earned value divided by planned value. It's a formula. You need certain inputs and you want to do the math and apply some formulas to get the final output. So it's like a loop. So I coded that process. I'm not saying coding is like Python coding or like just it's user friendly setup, and I click refresh. That's my switch. I switch the machine on, and everything will go through the loop, and everything will fall into place because I built the machine only once, and that's the kind of mentality that you want to have, because you don't have a time in it, enough time in a day to do everything manually on your own. I talked about it in the previous workshop, Power of Leverage. I recommend that you watch it if you haven't already done so. And yeah, you need to eliminate friction, go back to any report section, apply formulas, um, analyze progress with one click, deal with triggers effectively, uh, have switches. So if I want to have dashboard for concrete. So I'm gonna, like it's like kind of switch, So I switch it on, and I have the dashboard completed for me. And here is another concept that I talked about all the time. Progress reports should be an input, not an output. Many planning engineers, including myself, are conditioned from day one to focus at reports, right? That's the first and the only thing that you want to focus at. It's your priority, it's non negotiable. You can spend the 2 or 3 days working hard and for long hours to get the work done. Um, but it should not be the case because I tried to do that for many years. It did not work. I found myself falling behind. I am not offering the expected value because I approached it the wrong way. Progress reports should not be the ultimate result, should not be the output everyone is dreaming about. It should be an input so you can start your work. Like, for example, in the same example I showed you, I click refresh and my report is done for me. The dashboard is completed, all the report sections is completed because I switch it on the machine. So everything is completed on autopilot. I don't have to spend the 2 days to get the work done. I have my peace of mind. I have my energy. I still have it. You know, and I can right now spend the same amount of time analyzing the progress, drafting correspondences to the team or to the subcontractors, initiate meetings, analyze delays, prepare extension of time claims. The list goes on. You have endless jobs as a planning engineer. But we want to complete the report on autopilot within seconds, and that's your input. So you can finally start working. Because you will be going the wrong direction if you do it the other way around. If you focus at your reports, uh, first of all, it's not really fulfilling because it's a routine. You do the same work every week, and I'm sure some of you will resonate with me on that. It's not. It's gonna be boring and unfulfilling. It's a waste of time because you don't really need an engineer to repeat the same task every week. Anyone can do, like, apply the mathematical division to calculate SPI. Everyone can subtract actual and the planned to get the variance. Like, everyone can, like, you can hire a fresh graduate to tell him extract this information and do these calculations to get the work done if you showed him the process. Like, anyone can do it. But what not everyone can do is to add value to the project, to lead a progress meeting, to highlight project delays, to prepare recovery measures and the recovery plan to the team, monitor the progress on weekly basis, provide insights. That's what not everyone else can do, and you need time to do all of that. So I hope it makes sense. Okay, so let's see if anyone has questions. Okay, so we have Leeway from Zimbabwe joined us. Hi, Salim from Sierra Leone, Ihab from Egypt, Muhammad from Qatar, Matku, Madhukar from India, Murtada from Iraq, Joshua from Kenya, Euhuturo from UK. Hi, Ahmed, Alphonse. Hi, from Cote d'Ivoire, Osam. Hi, Abdul Mahdi from Sri Lanka, Hussam from Algeria. Hi, George from Mexico. Richard from Kenya. Hi. Hi, Aziz. Thank you very much. Bukang from Botswana. Right, so let's go for the first question. Can we know the increase of planning engineer salary after learning and using Power BI and data analysis? Nobody can do that for you. It all depends. There are so many factors. Like, some countries, developed countries, are very competitive, and it really depends on so many factors. I don't really think about that too much. What I do, even with my clients, I just do my best every day. I show up, I do my best every day. You have to continue learning. I really learn a lot. I love self improvement. I love growing and learning. I don't know everything. Nobody can. Just Power BI is beneficial. It's a benefit. But you should not stop there. Yeah, learn it. Go for daily analysis. After you finish, go for other skills. Move on. And even when you learn the Power BI, double on that. Improve your skills in Power BI. It's a journey. Khalid, data required in planning for this point exactly usually will be decided by consultant or main contractors. No, nobody will decide it. Like, when you create a model, maybe we will have another workshop about that. It will make more sense when I give you an overview about the data tables and how we can connect them. It will make more sense. But normally we use activity ID as a main identifier to try to connect different data tables. From Jamal, where do you have updates data? Is it connected to Primavera or there is a connection with Power BI? Right. There are, because many people like have this confusion. I don't know why they talk about it all the time, which is not correct. They tell you some people will say, I connect the Power BI to Primavera right away. It cannot happen. There is no native integration between Primavera and Power BI. There is something close to that. You can connect to the database through ODBC, Open Database Connectivity, but the connection is different than Primavera. It's very different. It's very challenging as well. So you want to have ODBC because you cannot connect. There is no native integration between Primavera and Power BI. Okay, you can export and import back and forth with Excel. So there is native integration there. So the first obvious connection will be a third party like Excel, which has a native integration between both Primavera and Power BI. Second option is ODBC, as I mentioned. Hi, Deepak from Nepal. Deepak, no, it is not. Maybe you mean BIM, not BMI. So it's a Power BI. It's a different software. Hi, Manush. Hi, Hasib from Pakistan. Ibrahim from Somalia. Antonio from Saudi. Destiny from Tanzania. It's good to have you. Hi, Khalid. For the progress report, can you please clarify the data required from construction team? It really depends on, because that's what I found. It depends on the culture, market culture. In every country, it's going to be different, and also the size of the project and how many planning engineers are there in the project, because they have to assign the workload among the planning engineers. So I think if it's a small project, a planning engineer can collect the data on his own. If it's a larger project like mega national project, you can't really do everything. Even though people will expect you to collect the data as a planning engineer, just can't. Like what I found is in a mega project, like larger projects, when you meet with site engineers, even themselves, like they don't know everything about the progress. They have to call the foreman, like they were doing that in front of me. They call the foreman, verify maybe the progress, and they get up to date statistics. It happens. It's a lot of work. So you can't really, as a one person, you can't collect all progress data. It's very tiring. It's not effective as well, because as a planning engineer, your job is to plan, monitor, analyze. There is so much work to do. But if it's a small project, I have done it before. I just walk around and get the progress data. But saying so, you are still expected to show up and go on site. You have to be there, like you have to feel the site. You have to see the problems. You have to be up to date. But to go over each activity and collect the progress percentage in in a very large project, it's really not effective. Yes, you can do that. Some company, like some people expect a planning engineer to do that, and he has this responsibility. But in my opinion, it has drawbacks. It will compromise the quality of your work as a planning engineer. That's my take. Some of you will be happy about it. Some of you won't. Ziol from Qatar. Hi, Barnaba. You can Google Power BI desktop, because there are few versions about or types of Power BI. You can download Power BI desktop. The installation and the download are very straightforward. No, Parviz, there is no certificate for this workshop. From Antonio, no, I don't. Like physical security, I don't have experience in that. What I teach and talk about is project control, mainly for construction projects. Some of my audience come from oil and gas background, maybe for Power BI and some aspects, but this is pretty much it. Hi, Laura from Ireland. Yes, Jamal. Yes, that's correct. Yes, you export the data to Excel to Power BI. That's one way. Another way is to use ODBC. Okay, so I don't have any more questions, and thank you all for coming and attending. I hope this you found this workshop somewhat informative, and yeah, I will see you in another workshop, and I wish you all the best.